Hello and welcome to the Matthew Alton Art channel again. This video is going to be about sketching. When I first started the channel, I did quite a lot of sketches just using mechanical pencils of various subjects. And it was basically to just get my hand-eye coordination back in, because I hadn't really done a lot of work regularly for quite a lot of years. So it was about sort of returning to doing things regularly, quickly, just to get the main points of whatever the subject was down on paper. I was going through the sketchbook that I was using when I first started this channel the other evening with the Patreons on my Patreon, and it sort of made me reminisce about how I used to like doing these quick sketches using the pencils. So I thought after that session where I'd looked through the sketchbook with the patrons, I would return to this. This year I've been concentrating quite a lot on doing full paintings, which are slower and more time consuming and take more out of you really. But I thought it would be interesting to return to sketching and see if the work that I've done since I used to sketch regularly is improved, is quicker, those sorts of things. You can see on the screen here that I've got 2 feet. These are taken from a YouTube video, an art prof YouTube video, where they do sort of photographs of various body parts, and you're supposed to do them at the time that the photograph is on the screen for, but I freeze it and stop it because I'm not that quick at doing accurate drawing really. Maybe I'll get better with more practice. I don't like feet, and this is possibly why I'm not very good at sketching them when I do live drawing, and those of you that follow the channel would know that I do a lot of live drawing, but feet are always one of the things that I struggle with when doing a sort of full figure drawing. So not one to shy away from a challenge, I thought I'd get back into sketching by trying some sketch studies of feet. And I've used these 2 references, as I say, from the video. I'll post a link to the video if anybody's interested in following along and doing the same in the description of the video. So you'll find the link there at the end. Okay, so I did a couple of sketches and let's do the time-lapse part of this video and show you how I actually created them. Well, here you can see I'm starting at the top of the reference. It's an A4 sheet of paper that I'm using in the sketchbook, and I'm already starting to show the outline of the uneven ankle bones. You can see that the one on the inside of the leg is higher than the one on the outside of the leg. Trying to, by the shading, indicate some of the tendons that you can see that are coming from the ankle down the foot. I'm using the side of the pencil again. You can see I used to sort of point that out when I was doing the sketches in the sketchbook before. Again, continuing with the sort of outline of the toes. It gets a little bit more difficult to do the outlines of the toes, other than the main big one, because a lot of the size of them is in shadow. So I'm using a combination of outline and shadow to indicate the size and the shape of the toes. You can see with the reference next to the drawing how there is already something that's gone quite wrong on this drawing. So the width of those first knuckles, where the toes join the foot, should be much wider, and the angle is wrong coming out to the little toe. It should be a much shallower angle. But that is the joy of doing sketching really. It's not got to be a finished piece or masterpiece. It's just a practice at trying to draw something that you find difficult to draw, and I find feet difficult to draw. So having seen that error, I will hopefully make adjustments for that when I try and do something similar in the future. And although it's not as wide as it is in the photograph, it still looks like a foot, and most people wouldn't see the reference next to the actual drawing. It took about 30 minutes to do this sketch in full, so not too long. And that is quite quick really, because it's been a while since I've done just pencil sketching in the sketchbook, and I would have expected it to be a bit slower than that really. But maybe the regularity of doing the work is making me quicker. Well, here we are on the second reference, and again I'm starting in a similar way to the previous one. I'm trying to put the outline of the foot on. If anything, perhaps that toe is a little small compared to the reference, but I'm sort of going with things that are next to each other because it's easy to see the relationship between the two things. And then you can see I erase the front of the foot there because I've put it far too wide. So once the toes are in, I make adjustments and erase the front of the foot and put it back in again. The alternative, of course, would have been to do the toes bigger, and then the foot would have been the right width. But you're making adjustments and looking at reference points all the time when you're drawing. Well, that's what I do anyway. It's the way that you can ensure accuracy. If you look at where something is in relation to something else, in terms of height, vertical or horizontal position, you can normally make it quite accurate, and certainly in combination with angles, so looking at the angles of things. This one took even less time than the previous one, so this was about a 20-minute sketch. And again, it's not a perfect masterpiece, but it's about me trying to capture the important parts of this foot pose. And I think, generally speaking, I've done that quite successfully. So we've got the ankle bone in there, we've got the tendon going down towards the big toe quite well. And we've got the wrinkles at the back of the heel and under the foot as well that are now being worked on a bit more. And overall, I'm quite pleased with it. Well, here are the final two sketches. Overall, I'm quite pleased with them. They didn't take very long at all. The first one on the left took about 30 minutes, I think. And bear in mind, that was the first sketch I'd done in pencil for quite a while. Yes, there are some issues with it, as I've already discussed. The first knuckles of the toes needed to be much wider to help with the perspective of the toes being closer to you. But that's not what sketching is about. You know, I've done the sketch, I've seen the errors, and therefore when I try and sketch a foot again in this sort of from this sort of angle, I should be better at doing that. So practice makes perfect. I'm a firm believer in that, really. The second one was even quicker. That was a 20-minute sketch, and it's a bit scrappy, but does it show a foot? Yes, it does. And are the main features of the foot there? I think they are. So I'm really pleased with getting back into sketching. There'll be some more videos showing me filling pages of the sketchbook over the coming months, I'm sure. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll put a link to the video, as I said, that I use for reference in the description of the video. I'll also put a link to the mechanical pencils that I use. I really like them. In case you want to get any of those from Amazon. I am an Amazon associate, so I do get a few pence if anybody buys through these links on the videos. Okay, well, thank you for your time. If you're new here, then do consider subscribing. That will really help the channel out. And if you're a return here, thank you for your support. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.